So the Wall Street Journal did this big article about Elon Musk. And to sum it up, they basically said, homie is in a weirdo fascist breeding cult. He's in like some Nazi eugenics breeding cult. So as you all know, he's got like a gazillion kids. And he's got a gazillion kids because he's got this weird life philosophy about how the world is being underpopulated and we need high IQ people to have as many kids as possible and make sure the low IQ people don't have any. Does this sound familiar? Does that sound familiar, that ideology? It should, because it is. It's nothing new, nothing special. But he actually believes that. And so he had at least 14 kids. But this article in the Wall Street Journal really breaks it down into detail. And we learn about some new victims, baby mama victims of Elon Musk. So let me walk you through it. This is the Independent. Inside Musk's plans to make a legion of babies and get to Mars to save civilization while paying moms to keep quiet. An explosive report about the world's richest man details how Ashley St. Clair found herself caught up in his harem drama. Can we also just point out, like, the whole Mars thing, apparently it actually motivates him. He thinks he's the savior of humanity, and he wants to use all of our resources to get us to Mars. Now, when I say us, I don't mean you and me. I mean, he would have himself and all of his wealthy robber baron asshole buddies go to Mars, right, and his kids. So I'm telling you, it's this weird cult mindset. And his dad comes from this school of thought called technocracy in the 1930s. His family members dabbled in this stuff where they want to create what's called the technate of America. Technocracy is an anti-democracy movement. It was an anti-FDR and New Deal movement where they think technocrats, the captains of industry, the corporate leaders, they should be the ones running the world. And it includes, tell me if this sounds familiar, having Greenland be part of America, having Panama be part of America, Mexico too, same thing. So it's basically like a North American super state. And they believe in techno-futurism, right? This idea of like, oh, the tech CEOs are the most brilliant people and they're the ones who are going to save humanity. He actually believes this stuff and he's living it out, acting it out. Wants to get us to Mars. All right, here we go. Elon Musk has a plan to populate the world with more babies of high intelligence. It's all part of his wider mission to one day occupy Mars to save civilization. That is according to an explosive report by the Wall Street Journal about the world's richest man and how MAGA influencer Ashley St. Clair found herself caught up in his harem drama. So guys, like, this is a cult, right? Like, he's in a cult. This is a cult. He's got some Nazi breeding fetish cult. And I don't know why people don't realize how fucking insanely weird this is. St. Clair, 26, went public with her claims that she and Musk share a child in February. Now she claimed that the billionaire offered her a one-time payment of $15 million plus $100,000 a month until her child turns 21 in exchange for her silence. She rejected the offer. Quote, "I don't want my son to feel like he's a secret," St. Clair reportedly told Musk's fixer, Jared Burchell, who runs Musk's family office. St. Clair claimed that Musk has used his wealth to silence some other women who have had his children, according to the report. Musk, who has at least 14 kids with 4 women, previously maintained that he does not know for sure whether St. Clair's child is his, but the probability of paternity was 99.99999%. Oh, please. So it's yours. According to test results that came back last Friday, the Journal reports. Oh, is that the first time that they released this? So of course, Ashley St. Clair is right. This is Elon's baby. Musk has 4 children, Strider, Azor, Arcadia, and Selden Lycurgus. Jesus. With Neuralink executive Sivan Zilis, as well as 3 extra dark Citadel. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Tau Techno Mechanus? Bro, as I read this article, like, I'm starting to feel like maybe you should need a license to have a kid. Like, this guy's not fit. He's not fit to be a dad. He's not fit to be a dad. He's just not. Never mind not fit to illegally hack into our country and steal our data and destroy government agencies he doesn't like. With music artist Grimes. So he's got a bunch of kids with Grimes. And he has 6 children with Justine Wilson, who was married to Musk for 8 years from 2000. According to multiple sources close to the tech mogul, the number of Musk's children is much higher than publicly known, they told the outlet. So the ones we know of are 14, and multiple sources are saying, actually, it's way more than that. This guy's a fucking menace, bro. Musk did not respond to the outlet's request for comment, but made light of it on his social media platform X by comparing the journal to celebrity tabloid TMZ. Well, you know what? Sometimes these motherfuckers get it right. Sometimes they get it right. TMZ equals the Wall Street Journal or is greater than the Wall Street Journal, Musk posted late Tuesday. The Independent has contacted representatives of Musk for comment. The report contains extraordinary claims about how Musk believes a declining population is a grave threat to civilization. He is driven to correct the historic moment by helping seed the earth with more human beings of high intelligence, the journal reports, citing people familiar with the matter. What the fuck? There's a line in the Wall Street Journal article where they say, oh, he wants to populate the world with high IQ people. That's why he's having all these kids. And he's worried about the breeding of, like, the third world countries. In other words, those black and brown countries, bro, they got low IQ. We got to get their shit under control. They got to stop having kids. And I need to have more kids. And then people get triggered when you say, he's a Nazi. Like, what else would you call that? What else would you call that? All these white, high IQ people I like, and they should have more kids. These black and brown, low IQ people, they shouldn't have kids. And the most amazing thing to me in the midst of all of this is, it's in this moment right now, people are being convinced by the thousands on a daily basis that the real high IQ, low IQ discrepancy is conservative versus non-conservative. Conservatives being the low IQ, non-conservative being higher IQ. So to the extent anybody's going to believe in any semblance of eugenics, eventually there's going to be a movement where it's along ideological lines, political lines, where it's like, obviously, the more conservative you are, the dumber you fucking are. That's what people are thinking right the fuck now because of Elon Musk, because of Donald Trump, because of their actions. And he has the nerve. I mean, this is just an admission of being a Nazi. It is what it is. Like, the multiple Zig Heils were enough validation in and of themselves. But now when you have an article in the Wall Street Journal explaining in no uncertain terms, I want to populate the world with high IQ white kids, and those third world countries need to chill with having all the kids black and brown. We know what it is. We've seen this movie before, dog. This is not special. This is not unique. This is not new. St. Clair gained an insight into Musk's paranoid way of thinking when they dated in 2023 after meeting in the spring of that year, she claimed. Their romance began on Musk's social media platform X after he began to interact with her posts. She was invited by Musk to visit X's headquarters in San Francisco. From there, he took her on a separate trip to Rhode Island on his private plane, where the SpaceX CEO was visiting one of his sons at college, and then later on a getaway to St. Barth for New Year. During their time together, Musk frequently talked to St. Clair about having children. She claimed, quote, the first time they had sex, Musk joked that they should pick a name for their future child, the outlet reports. On the trip to St. Bart's, she told Musk that she was ovulating. What are we waiting for? He reportedly replied, and their son was conceived, according to St. Clair. During St. Clair's pregnancy, she claimed Musk suggested they bring in other women to have even more of their children faster in his mission to save civilization. You know, we covered this before, but there are multiple clinical psychologists who have talked about this, and they are convinced not only is this guy a massive ketamine addict, but he's also hypomanic. So he effectively might be bipolar 1, where he goes through phases of mania and then depression, and mania and then depression, and certainly now he's in a manic phase. And that's why he was talking about, I'm not sleeping as I'm dismantling the federal government and I'm hacking into the treasury and looting it. All that was going on. He wasn't sleeping. He was totally unhinged on Twitter. And that's what's called a hypomanic phase. And then you hear something like this and you're like, oh my God, that's exactly what this is. He's saying things like, we need to bring in other women to have even more of their children faster in his mission to save civilization. Quote, this is what he said. To reach Legion level before the apocalypse, Musk told St. Clair in a text message seen by the Journal, we will need to use surrogates. To reach Legion level before so my kids are Legion. I gotta have so many kids that I have my own fucking little army before the apocalypse. Isn't it nice to know that one of the people who's the most powerful man in the most powerful country on earth is talking about, well, obviously the apocalypse is coming and I'm trying to save my ass. Well, maybe if you fear the apocalypse, maybe as a leader in this country, unfortunately, because you shouldn't be, maybe you should be, I don't know, trying to prevent that. No, it's inevitable, but we're gonna get out of here to Mars. But it's okay. I had 85 kids, and I'm gonna make an army out of my kid. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? He's in a Nazi cult. This is a Nazi breeding fetish cult. Once visibly pregnant, St. Clair stayed inside her apartment in New York City to avoid speculation. Burchell was instructed by Musk to send her $2 million for expenses, the Journal reports, which he used in part to pay for security. Burchell also reportedly warned St. Clair that Musk expected privacy and confidentiality about the child. After the birth, St. Clair was pushed again to sign the $15 million agreement in exchange for her discretion, according to the outlet. Musk then reportedly weighed in and told St. Clair that it was dangerous to reveal his relationship to the baby. What? He described himself as the number 2 after Trump for assassination in text messages seen by the Journal. Only the paranoid survive, he added. So again, by the way, evidence of a manic state, paranoia. Here you have it. St. Clair didn't sign the agreement. One of the main sticking points, she said, was that it would make her son feel illegitimate. When she learned a newspaper was planning to publish a story about the child, St. Clair went public. 5 months ago, I welcomed a new baby into the world. Elon Musk is the father, she wrote in February. I have not previously disclosed this to protect our child's privacy and safety. But in recent days, it has become clear that tabloid media intends to do so regardless of the harm it will cause. Oh, please. She ran to the media to do a glowing profile about what was going on in her life while saying, I can't believe the media is going to talk about this. If you wanted to be hiding, then fucking hide. Like, okay. Musk revoked the $15 million offer, according to the outlet, and the case went to court to discuss paternity testing. In the meantime, Musk dropped his support to $40,000 a month while St. Clair's legal fees soared. After the publication of the Journal's report, St. Clair claimed the amount Musk paid in child support had dropped to $20,000. So, in other words, what he does here is he sets up a dog-eat-dog world among his baby mamas, right? And he's got to deal with them, but he'll adjust it based on how he thinks they're acting. Right? Now, meanwhile, remember, this is not about them, it's about the kids, right? And he's like, I don't care. If they're annoying me, I will cut their money off, or I will reduce the amount of money that they're getting. This is who this guy is. You know, what happened to, remember the old days when conservatives used to talk about, like, American family values. You need the nuclear family. 1 man, 1 woman, white picket fence, a dog, 3 kids, or 2.5 kids, whatever the fuck it was. And here's this guy, who's now the face of some modern conservative techno-fascist movement. And he's like, I don't know. I just fucking impregnate everybody as much as I can and then deal with the consequences later. Because I want to bring everybody to Mars to create a legion to stave off the apocalypse as I destroy Social Security and all of the social safety net in America. Musk's ambition to get humans to Mars is driven by his fears of a declining population. He believes people close to him told the outlet that a solution is for educated people to have more kids. Quote, I think for most countries, they should view the birth rate as the single biggest problem they need to solve. If you don't make new humans, there's no humanity, and all the policies in the world don't matter, Musk said at a conference last year in Saudi Arabia. Musk's baby-making project is relevant to his ambitions for NASA, which he wants to move faster to go to Mars. The Journal reports Musk sees it as his responsibility to help seed the Earth with more human beings of high intelligence. What is important is that we establish a self-sustaining city on Mars. Musk said previously, this is important for the long-term future of humanity or consciousness as we know it. Now understand something. These are delusions of grandeur, too, because we are nowhere near being able to set up a thriving city on Mars. First of all, you need to do it underground on Mars. You can't do it like on the surface of Mars. Second of all, we're nowhere near this. And he said famously, like 14 years ago, like, we'll be in Mars in 10 years. And he just said the other day, oh, and by some date in the near future, I'll get us to Mars. It's like, you're nowhere fucking near that. You couldn't even make the Hyperloop a success. You sold a vaporware Tesla sport car in 2017 that still doesn't exist. When are people going to learn? He's a fucking fraud. He's a con man. On top of being a Nazi. And his multi-billion-dollar companies will help him achieve the goal. Through SpaceX, he aims to build a rocket capable of reaching Mars, while his other businesses will finance the lofty plans. He has predicted that humans could land on Mars in the next 20 or 30 years, though some NASA scientists have said that the plans are highly unlikely. Gee, I wonder who I believe. The serial liar or the NASA experts? Musk asked a cryptocurrency influencer if she was interested in having a child. Now, this part of the story is crazy, because again, what do I keep saying? This is a Nazi breeding fetish cult. That's what he's in. But you ready for this? Since acquiring X, Musk has used the app to interact with lesser-known users and has solicited some of them to have his babies, according to the Journal. One of them reportedly included the cryptocurrency influencer and journalist Tiffany Fong, who Musk began interacting with on X while she was covering the fall of crypto tycoon Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, let me pause here to point out, there are many people in the Twitter circles that I run in who I saw, like, Musk has started to reply to this Tiffany Fong woman, and she started replying in a certain way, and people were taking screenshots of their interactions and going, here's the next victim. And I remember seeing those going, oh yeah, that's what's happening. Guess what? We were exactly correct. As Fong shared more pro-Trump content on her profile, Musk became interested. He followed her account last summer, according to the Journal, which in turn boosted her earnings because she was paid through a program on X to share content. More favoritism. She earned $21,000 on X in a 2-week period, the outlet reports. According to people familiar with the matter, Musk reached out to her and asked if she was interested in having his child, despite never meeting in person. Let me repeat that. Musk reached out to her to ask if she was interested in having his child, despite never meeting in person. You think this guy is mentally healthy? You think this guy is stable? Fong reportedly confided in St. Clair about the offer, but didn't take Musk up on the proposal. After learning that Fong had told other people about his request, he rebuked her for a lack of discretion and unfollowed her. As a result, her engagement on X dropped and her earnings declined. When contacted for comment, Fong told The Independent that she did not feed this story to the Journal. She added that she would have rather kept it private. Another part of the article explains how, he'll message people out of the blue, be like, do you want to have my babies? He'll do that. And the other thing is, in virtually every case, most cases, he's like, we're going to do it through, IVF. We're not, in other words, we're not going to have sex. Here you have the world's richest man, right? And at least 14 known kids. The reality is probably over fucking 20 kids, right? And you're reaching out to randos online because you like their tweets. And you're like, have my babies. And by the way, I don't even want to have sex with you. Let's do it. So, look, what comes to mind is, what's her name? Azalea Banks said that Grimes told her, this is all rumors, none of this is verified, this is all alleged. But the speculation is, he had some sort of a botched procedure on his junk, and now it's like deformed. And so that would at least partly explain why he's always saying like, oh no, we don't even need to do it, but I want you to have my kids, right? So you don't have to have sex, which is the part most people would probably look forward to, but he skips that part. I want you to have my babies, but don't worry, you don't have to touch me. Is there any truth to that rumor? I don't know. You tell me. But what we know for sure, based on this Wall Street Journal article, is that homie's a fucking Nazi with the whole high IQ versus low IQ. We need to populate the earth with my brilliant babies as opposed to the idiot black and brown babies that are all over the place. Total fucking Nazi. And he's got this weird breeding fetish cult that he's in. And this is the guy who's the fucking shadow president, who's the co-president, who's making decisions. The guy who openly, the apocalypse is coming and we need to get off it. This is a guy who, the steady hand of leadership you guys want. It's like we live in a shitty, like, dystopian sci-fi novel. That's what it's like reading about. This is like one of the most powerful men on earth. This guy. And he's got problems that are inconceivably bizarre. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.